as the Office of the National Security Advisor has asked former Kaduna Governor Nasir El-Rufai to submit any evidence supporting his claim that the office procured thallium sulfate, a highly toxic substance. Now, this was contained in a letter addressed to El-Rufai dated February 13th. The response from the Office of the National Security Advisor, signed off by Brigadier General O.M. Adesui, reads, I am directed to respectfully convey that the ONSA has neither procured nor initiated any process for the purchase of such material and has no intention of doing so. However, I am further directed to state that the allegation has been formally referred to the Department of State Services, DSS, for a comprehensive investigation. Your Excellency and other parties involved who may possess relevant information relating to this claim will be duly invited by the service to provide any evidence that may assist in an in-depth investigation, establishing the facts and ensuring due diligence. Please accept the assurances of the esteemed regards of the National Security Advisor. Now, of course, this is coming after what many would call quite an eventful few days. We know that Malam El-Rufai will be headed to EFCC today. They said he has a contingent of about 5,000 people from Kaduna who will be escorting him there. Now he has an impending interview, expectedly, with the DSS as well. Dr. Abati, your take on all of these developments?
Okay, well, very quickly. Nasir Rufai, used to be a friend of the APC. He was one of the original, I think, 14 persons who drafted the, documents for the establishment of the APC as a political party. In the 2023 elections lead up to it, he was one of the major supporters of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, taking a principled stand that power should go to the south after the Buhari administration. When, before President Tinubu assumed office, publicly at a forum in the northern part of the country, he said he would need former Governor Nasir Rufai in his team. He then said no, he wanted to go back to school, but the president promised him. Okay, as it turned out, his name showed up on the list of ministerial nominees. And then, of course, at the end of the day, for security reasons, he was not cleared. Now, this story, the backstory, is that he holds the NSA, his good friend, Thûgg Ribadu, responsible for whatever travails, whatever may have gone on at the back end, which ended up not seeing him on the list. And since then, he's been very bitter, and he became not a friend anymore of this administration. He's been very critical in saying this administration will not come back to power, and that he will do everything to make sure that the APC is not re-elected because it is a party of incompetent persons. So there's been that long drawn, in terms of background battle between him and his old friends. Now the matter came home to roost over the weekend when he returned from a trip abroad, and there was an attempt to seize his passport at the airport and to invite him for questioning by the Department of State Services, on the basis of which he now granted an interview and said he was very sure that his old friend, now turned adversary, Thûgg Ribadu, NSA, is the one behind all of this plot. So that's the background of it. But the other things that then came up is the memo he wrote. He wrote the request for clarification on January 30. It was received February 11. And then the response that you read came February 13. Simply saying that if you have any secret information, you can, assist the security services with that information, saying that thallium sulfate, which is poison, has been imported. And he basically wants to know, what do you want to do with this poison? What quantity? Who is the supplier? And where is it stored? And all of that. Well, they now say, if you yourself have information in that regard, tell us. There's also the other issue of the NSA's security breach, which is phone, from where he was making some quotations. So all of this, I think that there is politics in it. There is the allegation that opposition figures are being targeted and being intimidated and being harassed. 3, that the attempt to arrest him at the airport did not follow due process. Although, you know, there can be circumstances.
Yes.
A letter can be written to you. There's another category where you can be arrested, you know, based on the circumstances. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But the important thing is to say the opposition should not be harassed. Two, those who have information with security implications, the best place to do this, as someone who had served in government in different capacities over the years, he knows how it also works at that level.
Yes.
Is to, you know, seek,
Yes.
provide support in terms of information for government.
Okay. All right. Well, as we are talking about opposition figures, there are several developments. Now, let's turn our attention to Peter Obi, ADC chieftain and former presidential candidate, who was the topic of conversation after a video of him issuing a stern warning to anyone who intends to rig the upcoming elections. In the viral video, he accuses the federal government of sabotaging his efforts to clinch a presidential ticket and assured that those who fail to count votes will be counted.
See the democracy. We will do that democracy. If they like, let them do election inside their house without transmission. We will transmit it to them. Tell him that you see this result here. If anything goes wrong with it, I won't say he will die. But if anything goes wrong, something will go wrong. What will go wrong, I don't know. But this result that I'm seeing, it must go like this to this. Don't forget, nobody has challenged this rascality more than me in this country. In that polling booth, in 2027, if they don't count it, we count the person.
If they don't count it, we count the person. The statement left many people confused and somewhat divided about the interpretation of his words, with some feeling that Peter Obi was possibly calling for violent interventions. However, this morning he clarified his position via his X account, and he wrote, I'll summarize. He says, our votes must count, and like in the past, in 2027, our votes must count, and all those who are there not to count the votes will be counted. Now, he's finished the statement saying, counted among those destroying Nigeria. I encourage everyone to remain at the polling units after voting, to count and witness the counting and transmission of results. Those who refuse to allow the votes count will be made to count the full weight of the law against rigging. So he said, to reiterate, if you do not count our votes, we will count you among those who destroy our democracy. And the statement goes on, but I think it was a very important clarification because social media went quite wild with some people saying, counted as what exactly? But he has clarified his statement. So
the question we should ask, should we have people rig elections in the first place? Why are we deceiving ourselves? So what we should tell people is that they should never rig, and some people should not think they are the ones that know how to use Thûgg more than others, because we saw how that happened in the last election, and we saw security officers defending them. We saw the hurt, the killings they did because they feel they have the monopoly of violence. We saw how they brought out Oru. Others are not fools. We should stop thinking people are fools in this country. What we call for is everybody go there, vote, let the result be counted, and it should be. The fact that some people think they will come, they will snatch ballot box and be going, that is wrong. It doesn't make it right. Nobody has the monopoly of violence. It should be the state, and that's why the state should caution those people. But we don't want a repeat of what happened in the last election. That police will be there, will be looking like Luku Bantashi. And you will see people, they will snatch ballot box, they will go away, they will say they can't do anything. Police officer will be telling you that there are many, I can't go after many of them, there's only me, one that is here. It must not happen. Simple. As regards Ribadu and his brother, as far as I'm concerned, Telefaro Timi has written that don't die in their war. These two people were like Siamese twins conjoined before. At a point in the past, El-Rufai's aspiration was greatly supported by Ribadu. Ribadu was his number one man. But when they fell out, The only reason why you've not heard from Ribadu is that he had not been in the limelight for a while. Now that he's back in the limelight, that's why you are hearing the fights. So both of them will know how to settle themselves. They've tried to settle them in the past. They don't settle. They should stop bringing their matter to disturb us. That's just it.